Edmund Burke said, "Tell me what are the prevailing sentiments that occupy the minds of your young, and I will tell you what is to be the character of the next generation." Youth unemployment in Uganda stands at between 64 and 70%, and about 400,000 youths are released annually into the job market to compete for approximately 9,000 available jobs in the entire country. About 30% of the youths who are institutionally qualified in Uganda are unable to find jobs, and the situation is even worse for semi-skilled and unskilled youths. Youths who remain unemployed or underemployed and do not exploit their full potential are often associated with high incidence of drug abuse and gambling. Unemployed youths migrate from rural to urban areas for work, which negatively impacts on the social services sector in urban centers. Ugandan youths shun the agricultural sector, one of the biggest employers in rural areas, preferring to work in service sector jobs like riding motorcycle taxis called boda bodas or as low-wage laborers in industries. The government response has been to issue soft loans and youth grants to agricultural programs such as the National Agricultural Advisory Services, NADS, the Youth Livelihood Fund, and youth saving and credit cooperatives called SACCOs. Additional services include vocational training education programs as well as universal primary and secondary education. Despite these interventions, the problem of youth unemployment remains high. In December 2011, the Uganda Government Cabinet approved a 10-year business, technical and vocational education and training strategic plan 2012-2013, 2021-2022, codenamed Skilling Uganda. This plan was officially launched on 2nd October 2012. The strategic plan is meant to accelerate reforms and guide the rational use of investment so that Ugandans and enterprises acquire the skills they need to raise their productivity and incomes. Government has received considerable support toward the activation of this strategic plan from civil society organizations, foreign governments, and the private sector. At this moment, we are going to hold a discussion on the progress made in this effort of skilling our youth for employment, especially in the area of agribusiness sector. This show is brought to you by NTV in conjunction with AVC Foundation Uganda and the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Engage us in an online live stream discussion on the solutions to our youth unemployment challenges on Facebook, Twitter, and our VDT app. You are welcome. And I'm Karaga Bodwins, very delighted indeed to host you wherever you are here in Kampala, across the country and all over the world, online, and of course here on set. It's quite a very significant matter to talk about. What is the solution to our youth unemployment challenge that we're facing? So I have a gallant panel to make sure that actually helps us to dig through this whole conundrum and what solutions do we need to get to agree on at the end of this discussion. Please join me on online and let's indulge in this whole problem with my panel. And on the extreme left, I have Dr. Francis Obita, who is the food security specialist, Avis Foundation. It's AVCI, but he prefers to call it Avis. Dr. Francis, you're welcome.
Thank you,
yes.
Baldwin.
What does it mean to be a food security specialist?
Being a food security specialist literally means that I have to keep an eye on the prevailing situation of people's access to food, to their utilization of the food, and then different processes that entails making sure that food is available mainly through the crops and then the livestock.
All right, so we're going to see how you're trying to deal with that in the discussion. And in the middle, I have a great lady, Miss Jane Nalunga, Chairperson Agriculture Sector Skills Council, ACCC. You're welcome, Jane.
Thank you.
I hope there's nothing faulty about what I've defined as your profile. Yes, and next to me is Mr. William Tibiasa, the Vice Chairperson, Agriculture Sector Skills Council, ACC. Mr. William Tibiasa Mwesige. Yes, William, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, good. The good thing is that the introduction has given us a panorama of understanding the context of what we're going to be talking about. So let me get straight to you, Madam Jane Nalunga, who is the Chairperson, Agriculture Sector Skills Council. Yeah. So first get us an understanding of what this council is about, what you're trying to achieve, and then we progress on from there.
The Agriculture Sector Skills Council is a national private public partnership that brings together stakeholders from various sectors under agriculture for the common purpose of improving agri skills, especially among the youth, so as to contribute to the development of agriculture in Uganda.
What is this formation? How does it get into place?
This sector was formed as a process.
It's a council, because councils in the government structure system have a certain role, just like commissions. Is it advisory? Does it have any kind of implementative and enforceful mandate in that regard, or you just advise on the sidelines about this
It does
sector?
not have any enforcement mandate, but it was formed as part of the policy and institutional reforms under the Ministry of Education and Sports. Way back in 2011, the government of Uganda, through the cabinet, approved a 10-year development plan for the business, technical, vocational education and training, which plan would see this transition from the demand-led kind of skills development, from the supply-led kind of skills development to the demand-led, where the people who are skilled would not rely on certificates, educational certificates, but would have the right skills that are required in the labor market. The government saw that it was necessary to engage the private sector and the training providers in making this change. So different councils have been instituted, and the Agricultural Sector Skills Council is one of them. The main purpose of this council is to contribute to this change of changing from the supply-led to the demand-led kind of skills development, to bring together stakeholders, including the enterprises, the industry, and the workers, so that we focus on producing out graduates who have the right skills for the right jobs instead of educational certificates.
Okay, that's the purpose of the Agricultural Sector Skills Council. All right, good. Let's first leave it at that. At least now we're getting some snippet of what the council is. So one of the other mysterious aspects is the acronym AVS or AVIS SI. So Dr. Francis, you can let us know. One of the things I found on your website is that you have the Skilling Youth for Employment in Agribusiness called SKY project, launched in November 2015, already moving at full speed, implemented by AVSI in Uganda with funding from the Netherlands Embassy. Yeah, so that is there. What exactly is AVSI, and also what are you trying to accomplish besides this that I found about SKY?
Thank you very much, Baldwin. AVSI Foundation is an international not-for-profit non-governmental organization. It was founded in 1972 in Italy, and it was born out of the need to respond to the need of the human person. The mission of AVSI is to engage in cooperation projects, and so that people who are in a lot of need, people who are vulnerable, can actually live a protected, dignified life. And so a very big focus of the work that we do, we put education of the human person, so that they are aware of who they are, how to meet their different needs. AVSI has been in Uganda, operating legally since 1984. And a lot of the work had been in the northern part of the country, and actually AVSI stayed in the north throughout the period of the conflict that was there, and then later has been able to move to expand to different parts of the country. The method of work of AVSI is first and foremost is to respond to the need of the person. So we put the human person at the center of the work that we do. And then in the middle of every circumstances, we always start from the positive. Then we focus very much on giving people an identity. So we build a civil society so that they can actually become protagonists of their own journey of their life. Then AFSI prefers to do with not you to work for them or to work for you, but to do it.
And I think your mission and the vision
exactly.
is being
exactly.
summarized on the screen.
Yeah. So at the very bottom of our method is partnership. That's why all the work that we've been doing it with the government of Uganda, as well as the private sector actors who are able to. Actually, we always use the public-private partnership. So in Uganda, AFSI is currently present in over 60 districts in all the regions. And then we are engaged in development work, but also we respond when there is emergency. Right now we are working in Arua with the Sudanese refugees, as well as in Palabek in the north, and then soon we will be in Kamwenge. So our key areas of interventions, besides education, which is at the very center of the work that we do, are agriculture, health and nutrition, social protection, energy, environment, water, and sanitation. And
just specifically on this one, just to make sure that I get to William, Sky. The Sky project, yes.
Yeah, the Sky project was actually born out of an experience of a previous project which was implemented in the north, in the Langwa and actually region, the Agri Skills for You project. So from the best practices and the various lessons that were learned, the funding was from the Embassy of the Kingdom of Netherlands. They then said, we need to support the government initiative to address the youth unemployment challenge. So now let's scale up the Agri Skills for You project. We come up with a bigger intervention that can address the issue of the youth in the central, eastern, and then the southwestern region. So Sky in full is skilling youth for employment in agribusiness. And then also the fourth, the other bit of the work that we needed to do was on to support this Skilling Uganda initiative by the government of Uganda. And so being an agriculture project, the Agriculture Sector Skills Council became our direct focus. And then we started collaborating directly with them. So Sky is targeting 8,000 youth who are going to be skilled.
Okay.
And
so just a slight pause on that. We're going to extrapolate much about this in the next segment.
Okay.
I need to bring in William so that, because I have to switch him with another young colleague. William, as a pragmatic response to the BIDVET, that is business, technical, the visa, then there's the education tech, and the mandate is now having a collaborative project, as he was saying, Sky. So we need to understand how you as a council, because you're representing the agricultural sector council, agriculture sector skilling council, pretty intricate.
Skills Council.
Yes, Skills Council. So how has this project actually advanced your cause, and how is it helping practically on ground the advancement of your cause?
Well, thank you. If I could add briefly on what Doctor has commented, Sky project started in 2015, December 2015, and the main objective, basically, the main purpose was for youth employment creation, mainly in agriculture. And the purpose has been probably creating strategic synergies with the private sector, and as well as BIDVET institutions, or Skilling Uganda. And the councils happen to be part of the arm for Skilling Uganda, and mainly Agriculture Sector Skills Council, where, as Doctor put it, that alongside the education, Sky project looks at agriculture, engaging the youth in agriculture. And mainly this has been through two pillars. One, because you know our youth are very dynamic, and we need to look at how best we can engage them. These two pillars are, one, learn as you earn, And then another one is sports for agribusiness. Now, Learn As You Earn pillar works in 2 aspects. One is that the Sky project works with the training providers. The training providers, we are looking at the paradigm shift as indicated in the Skilling Uganda strategy, where we are now shifting from certificates, mere certificates, to competence-based training, such that we can have qualified people that have employable skills outside there. And therefore, here we are looking at the Sky project looks at supporting capacity build the training providers, such that they can produce the candidates that are suitable for employment by the private sector, and also these candidates can also create employment for themselves. That's why now during the training, you train them, they learn as they earn. So we thought that that was an element of motivating the youth to join agriculture. Then another one, like we said, has been the aspect, the pillar of sports for agribusiness. This mainly is for the lower element of secondary schools, where the youth are engaged, are interested in joining agriculture practices through sports. And this one has worked, the Sky project has worked with about 35 institutions and about 4 schools. In different areas, as he mentioned, we have southwestern Uganda, the central and the Elgon region. And we've seen that the youth basically, as we'll be looking on earlier on, have benefited in terms of mindset change, because the Sky project also looked at not only the technical aspect, but also the soft skills. That is, we are targeting the mindset change or attitude change for the youth. As you know, why the youth basically, I need to mention that before I break off. Now, the Sky project targeted the youth because before that, like he told you, the Sky project or AVS Foundation, where this project is anchored with the funding from the Netherlands, the government of the Netherlands, anchors from the key government programs, right from National Vision 2040, then a National Development Plan 2, and then it comes down to the Agriculture Sector Strategic Plan, and then when it comes back down, then you look at what we need as a country. Then you find that one of the key challenges has been the youth employment. And if you look at our population, about over 70% we are youth. And then when you look at the unemployment, we are looking at about 80%.
Yeah, so on that point, I apologize because I need to go for a break. Actually, I want now to make sure that your submission is validated by somebody. So I'm going to switch you just after this break with a young lady who you have taken through this process. So our viewers, just after this particular short break, we're going to have a young lady who will come to provide a testimony about her experience in this particular project that has been talked about. We'll be back just after a short while.
Mujewali, I'm helping Ugandans make the smart choice. Why choose this powder?
It cleans just like any other ordinary detergent.
Aereo gives you better stain removal in one wash, even with less powder.
It can't be.
Observe grass, tea, and chocolate drink.
I'll need 1, 2 handfuls.
And just 1 handful of Aereo. See? Better stain removal with only 1 wash.
It's the smart choice for sure.
Aereo removes tough stains in 1 wash.
Don't miss this week's episode of Coke Studio Africa. Kenyan rap god Nyashinsky and SA supergroup Mafiki Zolo create an original smash hit. Tanzanian queen Nandi teams up with Ethiopian Betty G for an unforgettable throwback track. And Ugandan powerhouse Eddie Kenzo joins Bisa Kede from Ghana as they lend their skills to this week's Big Break artist. Only on Coke Studio Africa. This is where
Did You Know is brought to you by National Drug Authority. Reporting to National Drug Authority, drugs that you suspect to be of poor quality or counterfeit can save life. Always report to NDA your suspicion. Call toll-free 0800 101 999 or WhatsApp 0791 415 555. Did You Know was brought to you by National Drug Authority.
Financial literacy brought to you by NTV, PwC and DFCU Bank.
Kapalatula. Amanya Mpita Mbuvi Yusuf. Ndi secretary wa Kampala, Mbale to Kampala Multiple Tax Limited. Twatandika 2015 ne ba members 8. Okutandika ekibiina kino nga buli member ina okusoka contributing emitwalo 5 okubeera member. Era ne bakikola esobola okubanga tutandika ekibiina kyaffe. Twatandika ne taxi emu. Taxi bagitoola buwozi mukwano gwaffe omulungi gwe twateeka mu system ne yagitoola. Ne tuba nga tulina omusasula obukadde 6. Okuvaawo tetwaddamu kwewola kintu kyonna kiyitibwa motoka. Twatandika kuzeegulira cash. Ku taxi emu gye twalina. Kati saawa zino twogera mu taxi 6. Ekintu ekyokusavinga ekiseyose culture olina okukiteeka mu buteesi mu bantu. Ne obuzibu obubeerawo nti buli member waalaba esente nga zizzeewo aba creatingawo ekizibu asobole okuba nga sente zino zikola ki zivaayo. Naye twakiteekako essira ne tulaba nti tulina okukikola buli ngeri yonna oba kifuba oba ddembe era bamemba ne batuuka awo ne bakikkiriza nti tusobole okusavinga kyova olaba tukulaakulanye.
It's possible if you work hard, oh yes, possible if you never quit. It's possible, it's possible.
Financial literacy was brought to you by NTV, PwC and DFCU Bank. DFCU Bank is regulated by the Central Bank of Uganda.
I used to see the crops, but that wasn't my thing. But now, I love the crops.
My kind of thinking towards agriculture has greatly changed.
Who am I that I can earn $1 million in the pocket? You know, I don't have it, but I know I have made it.
Inside here, we have a crop called Kamba.
Sky was born specifically to bridge the gap between what is thought and what is demanded by the labor market. The project started off full blast right from the start. The whole project falls under the umbrella of the Skilling Uganda strategy, and which is being rolled out currently in the country.
The Sky support is definitely giving a very big boost to fast track the reforms, the policy, developing the necessary tools and instruments.
So one of the biggest achievements that we registered as a team, we managed to bring all the partners on board.
We want the private sector to be at the driver's seat because I think they will give us the results that we want.
Those farms that have succeeded, those agribusinesses that have succeeded, have a common denominator, which is the passion for agriculture. They love what they do.
They talk about work instructions. Yeah? So I think it's very important that we as Sky partners really sit together and learn tricks from each other just to make the whole of Sky better.
We've been able to partner with some other implementing partners under Sky.
For example, Agromax is, in my opinion, very advanced in doing their training courses. We are more advanced in growing. So I say, you know what? I show you how to grow, you show me how to teach. And like this, we make little win-win situation.
Thank you indeed for following us. We are trying to devise and discuss solutions to this phenomenon of a grand problem of youth unemployment. And I'm glad that several of you are actually already on our social media platform, trying to make sure that you engage and supplement on what we're discussing here in the studio. And just to quote a few, Jex Ben says that when the government devalues, that is from Facebook, we posted there a question about what you think should be the solution to the youth unemployment issues. When the government devalues agriculture by underfunding it, making empty promises to farmers, privatizing cooperative unions, farmers' arms rather, spearheading agribiz, blah, blah, that's just for gags. We are used to lies hidden under statistics. Then Kagwa Andrea says that government alone despises agriculture, cause low budgetary allocation, degrading of swamps and nature that would have provided water for irrigation, while NEMA is looking on government, fighting cooperatives, for just like what we saw at the remaining Mbale's cooperatives. On and on, several countless indeed comments on Facebook. Please go there and supplement your comment about this. And let's engage the people who are practitioners. Now, we have a program, a project that is taking pragmatic efforts to ensure that it intervenes in this matter of concern. And based on the background of what we've discussed, I have a young lady here to give testimony to the effect of her experience through this project. And she's called Miss Belinda Nanshinga, youth graduate, Agromax. Wow, pretty fancy introduction profile. Yes, Belinda, what is Agromax? And give us your testimony about this whole experience. They're talking about Sky. What do you get out of it as an impact to your life?
As a start, to me, it came like a dream come true. I don't know about the rest.
You're one of the people in the videos, by the way. I think people who have watched here, okay?
Yes, yes, even you can see the changes from the video and right now. I mean, there's an improvement at a certain stage. Now, I would want to start with, yes, I've done urban planning, so I'm educated.
You're an urban planning graduate?
Yes.
From the university?
Yes.
Wow.
So, as you know...
Bachelor's degree? Is it?
Yes.
Oh, very good. I needed to make sure that that is confirmed. That is tremendous.
So, as many youths after university, we tend to, as usual, there are no jobs for us, and we walk through, and at times our heels on our shoes are worn out. But then this project came in. Sky is like skilling the youth for employment in agrobusiness. Now, the program came to Agromax. Agromax is like an agricultural business sector where they actually, for them, it's business where they grow crops, seedlings, in that sector, okay.
Yes.
And then Sky comes in and looks at the youths. How can they help the youths in Uganda? So they partner in with Agromax to help us, the youths. So in that way, I was one of the people called. Actually, it was not like one call. I think Agromax even went further to the universities. And as you know, us, the youths, seeing agriculture somewhere, we're like, no, 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 no go area. So a few of us who accepted, we go to Agromax and we learned many skills in agrobusiness. For me, I knew nothing. I didn't know how to dig. I don't even have those chunks of land. But right now, I can say even when you don't have the land, only the skills, the capital that we need is not the money, it's the mind, the mindset. When you put your mind out to something, you achieve it. Now that we have modern farming, we don't need so many chunks of land to achieve agribusiness. When you come to Agromax, or when you Google, I think, the Sky projects, you will see how modern farming has changed.
Okay. And on that note, because I still have you here for a few minutes, don't worry. And it sounds a very beautiful testimony, and we wish you all the best. And we just have more rather follow-up questions, don't worry. Now, Jen, in the report that you made, or the status report for Agriculture Sector Skills Councils, this very literally past month, September 2017, it says that the Ministry of Education and Sports earmarked 500 million for reform task forces, which you said, of course, these are structured sector councils that have been proliferated through in financial year 2014-2015, and in the financial year 2015-2016, the funding was increased to 700 million. However, you have a lamentation. Okay, you say, however, since the third quarter financial year 2016-2017, the expiry of term of office of the Reform Task Force Board, the Agricultural Sector Skills Council has not been able to access any funding from the Ministry of Education and Sports, and this explains the pending areas for council members' allowances. Now, actually, one of the comments from Facebook, from our online participants, is exactly that government purports to be interested in supporting the growth of agribusiness to, of course, help employ young people, but it's not in practice, in the back of the thick of things, giving it the actual support, like now giving you the money, as you're saying, as a council. So tell us what you've accomplished through that. Besides this lamentable situation you're in, what have you so far accomplished through that entire process when you are being funded? Let's leave out the lamentation.
Well, we have not yet been able to access that funding, but that does not mean that the Agricultural Sector Skills Council has not performed.
Exactly, that's what
we have been able to accomplish. Yes. One of them is building partnerships. And the major partnership that we've built is with AVUS.
Okay.
AVUS has supported the Agricultural Skills Council, first of all, to establish and operationalize the Agriculture Sector Skills Council, and also implement other activities. These activities include, finalizing our action plan, which we have shared with the Minister of Education and AVUS, but also participating in policy learning visits. These policy learning visits have been mainly to the Acholi and Langwa sub-region, where AVUS has been implementing the Agri Skills for You project, so that we can, pick these stories, discuss with stakeholders, then come up with recommendations that can be used to contribute to the policy process, but also to enrich our initiative of, making broader the Uganda vocational qualifications framework. We wouldn't like to say that, okay, if you don't have this degree, then you can't do this job. There are other skills there that can be, that are being used in employment, and we would like to see how do we evaluate them so that those people who are doing these things can also be given a qualification that befits what they're doing. We have also carried out support supervision visits to agri-skilling areas where AVUS is implementing the Sky project in the central, in the eastern, and in the western. And we have also participated in the activities under Sky with the schools. As we already, elaborated, the Sky project includes also 6 schools, 2 in the eastern, 2 in the western, and 2 in the central. Under that
but Jane, that sounds like actually you are doing a backriding attachment on Sky project. Literally, you are there to do escort work.
What we are doing, what I'm talking about, is what we are doing in partnership. You can ask Francis.
All right.
Give him a witness.
Yes.
We have come up with support supervision teams, and we have written reports, and we have submitted the reports to Sky, but we have also shared them with the Minister of Education.
Yeah. Okay.
So there are recommendations in those reports, and we also intend to use some of these recommendations as part of our advocacy to advocate for skills development.
Okay. I understand, because I can see even the funding is really dismal, but good, you're playing your part based on the mandate that you're given. Now let me just go to Dr. Francis. So there is a study which was made by a student for a master's thesis in international affairs and governance called Michael Fetcher, and he says that the study was called Youth Unemployment in Uganda, Roots of the Problem and Possible Ways to Mitigating Them. And he finds a litany of causes of this, and he says there are systemic economic reasons, which is rural-urban migration, skill mismatch, of course, by the employers and education that is given, lack of comprehensive entrepreneurship and managerial skills. Then there's the social, cultural issues, demographic development and population growth. There is corruption, nepotism, and tribalism. We need to understand, how did you zero on that agribusiness skilling can actually be able to bring a practical solution to this whole matter, with all the litany of these problems and causes of the unemployment in Uganda, actually?
Thank you very much, Baldwin. Let me start by picking up on something that Jen had spoken about.
Briefly. Yes.
The Agriculture Sector Skills Council has a 5-year plan. Each Sector Skills Council was mandated to develop their plans. So out of the Sector Skills Council's 5-year plan, okay, Sky Project came in and then say, we need this Sector Skills Council operational and running. So we're going to streamline a collection of interventions to fit into the 5-year plan of the Agriculture Sector Skills Councils. So what we are currently doing with the Sector Skills Council is really not Sky activity, but contribution from Sky with funding from the Dutch to support the Skilling Uganda initiative, under which the Agriculture Sector Skills Council is operating in. Yes. Now, coming to the issue of youth and employment, and then why we are zeroed on
agribusiness skilling.
Agribusiness. Yeah. Let's start by looking at our economy. The backbone of our economy is
agriculture.
Wonderful. And then after the Millennium Development Goals, the transition to the Sustainable Development Goals, FAO, together with the World Bank, made some assessments, and one of the things that they found out is that agriculture is twice more effective in transforming, or let me say, in poverty eradication, moving people from one economic level to the other one is twice more effective than any other sector, any other investment. Then looking at our country, okay, we are gifted by nature.
Yep.
We have very good soils. A very big percentage of the land in this country is very good for both crops and then animals, right? And then we have a really good climatic condition, okay? And then if we look at our export, right? We find coffee, which is an agricultural product, and then fish, still from agri on the very upper side. And what is agribusiness? Is doing agriculture in order to make money. So
okay, now on that note, because I just need to make a break on this particular note. We've run out of time, and Belinda, unfortunately, I'm not going to have a follow-up question. I'm going to have William come and take you on, but it's been a very inspirational testimony. Thank you indeed for coming. I'm going to have somebody else come and take you over. You can go and even preach this message to as many youth as possible. Thanks our viewers for keeping with us. We're going to have a short break again and then come back. I'll read still some of your feedback on Facebook, and then we'll wrap it up here in the studio. Thank you.
bwe beewuuba nga beekulungula wansi ate era ne batandika okwavula pampa ensibe n'etteepu etendewalirwa era n'esumulukuka kati wano kiba kiseera kya pampa nyangu nnyo okubambaza ne bwe baba batambulatambula ebatuukira ddala era bamala essaawa nga 12 nga bakabe bwe batandika okwavula kimanyirengawo nti kiseera kya pampas
On the next episode is brought to you by
Sudolin. Let's color.
This week on the NTV Style Project, themed parties have been trending lately, and just last week we happened to attend one of a kind. Oh wow, I'm loving the pink situation going on right about now. We are going to be joined by a special guest to talk about gym wear and gym etiquette. You do not want to miss it.
Inspired by the world's most beautiful places, Sudolin has been bringing color to the world since 1907. Sudolin, let's color.
When you are weeding this weed, please make sure you remove the bulb from the ground.
We had a visit to Exclusives. We partnered with Gayaza High School for their annual farm camp.
The world out there got to know what we are doing, unlike before. So many students, teachers, NGOs, and other people came in.
And through that, we have been able to expose the youth to different enterprises, different production methods, so that they have a wide range to choose from.
Sky started a ripple effect which has continued to spread out, and it just loops in more richer people who enrich us more. It's a cool feeling.
We have a number of them who have started their own projects even during this training. So it already shows that they're applying the skills that they have learned. They already know the value of hard work, and we are trying to promote commercialized agriculture, which is a concept that at this point in time they're getting to understand.
We're looking at not sitting on the skills we've gotten here. We're looking at just continuing. Here when you do greenhouse farming and also open field, you earn a living. That means the family at home, your life will be good. So with agriculture being your footstool, then you can get that.
By the time they go away, I believe some of them, they are going to be even better than some of us who are training them.
It changed my life greatly, because right now I'm looking forward to growing my own coffee. I've already cleared the land. I'm looking into dairy farming. I'm looking into piggery, all because of coming here.
So After this program, I'd say, for me, even before I leave, I have ventured. I know where my life is going.
Thanks, our viewers, indeed, for keeping with us. I'm Karaga Bodwins. We're coming to you live from the Kampala Serena International Conference Center. And you are with us, having conducting this discussion on Twitter and on Facebook. And I can see here down on the screen, Twitter is being reported, what we are discussing there. Let me just quote 3 people on Facebook. Donnell John says, Uganda, Uganda. How many times will this agricultural venture fail? Agriculture venture fail before our leaders realize need for new alternatives to tackle youth unemployment. Then Paul L. Kiwanka says that agriculture to make an impact, there must be value addition. Otherwise, the same stories. And lastly, from Wambutu Amos, agriculture is the backbone of Uganda. Why seek? All right, not quite a clear comment on that, but there is a litany of responses on our social network platforms, so you can go and actually follow up on this. And there is a great degree sounding as if it's a pessimism of sorts, which you need really to work on. I've brought back William. William, you might not have to go through this controversy, but help us to talk about, because we need to have this discussed, about the Agris Business Skilling Fair scheduled for this actually Thursday, 21st October. And then perhaps if you, just 3 minutes, and give us an understanding of that and some of those issues, if it's possible.
I think before I talk about the Agri-Skilling Fair, which is for Saturday, 21st, yes, I need to respond on the role of the councils vis-a-vis partnering with the Sky, that some of them basically the work plan for the Agriculture Sector Skills Council has partly been supported by the Sky project, and I think we have a funding of over close to $1 billion, and I think that's a very good work and collaboration between the councils and the Sky project. Then in addition to that, I mentioned that the Sky project as that strategic collaboration between the private sector, the service providers, and the champions, the youth who have been interested in doing farming. The key important aspect on that has been linking the youth that have been trained or have been engaged in production to markets, and creating synergies between the youth such that they can bulk their production. And again, in line with that, the skilling institutions that are providing trainings for these youth have been supported by the Sky project, such that part payment for the fees of the students is by the project. And again, when the students have finished the training, they are given startup capital. And there is follow-up visits to which we can call or even a post-support programs after the apprenticeship. And then some of these institutions which have come up to partner have created employment opportunities after the youth have been trained. And these institutions are organizations like Nucafe, like Agromax, and others to mention but a few, are coming on board because the youth they are going to employ have been trained and have the rightful skills that they are required.
Okay.
And that is very key. Then now,
the fair.
To sum it up, on come 21st of October, this Saturday, all roads are leading to MTN Arena, Lugogo, for the youth. This is a fair that the stakeholders are coming together to showcase skills development programs in different areas they have been engaged in, the research, the training, also to share the challenges that I imagine. And then we see how best we can pave the way for the skills development within the agriculture sector, and how best our ever-growing population of the youth can engage in the agriculture. How best can we change the mindset from agriculture in schools being seen as a punishment to something that is being seen as that can help you to make you a millionaire, to make you a self-employed, and to see that you can employ other people. And we are seeing that this is the only way we can probably be moving towards attaining the middle-income status.
Who is invited and at how much?
No,
just 20 seconds.
The fair is basically free of charge. Everybody is invited. It has been supported by AVSI with the collaboration with the Agriculture Sector Skills Council and A1 Challenge. So there will be a lot of fun, there will be a lot of interaction, networking and sports, because this is a youth, so you must come with energy.
Okay, thank you, William. Now, Dr. Francis and Jane, just 2 minutes each, please, just constrained in time. How sustainable is this SKY project going to be, just as a summary?
Okay, focusing on our two flagship approaches, the first one being the Earners You Learn, where we're implementing this with over 30 agri businesses, and they have appreciated it, okay? Yes. Because then they're actually able to train the youth to impart on them the skills that they as employers need, because part of the problem has always been that the training institution pump this youth with a lot of knowledge, but then without skills, right? So the Earners You Learn also keep the youth there, because they're not just learning, but they're also earning. We saw the case of Belinda. So again, like I had said, the public-private partnership. The government, on the other side, making sure that quality skills training is conducted. So they'll be on the other side doing policy and quality assurance support. And then this is something that as the Sector Skills Council, they will adopt it as the best practice. And then looking at the mindset change, so that we really begin from down. I must say that SKY targets the age group 14 to 35. Okay, so sports for agribusiness basically is a mindset change approach, where we are using sports. In this case, basketball. We are implementing this with the A1 Challenge Ladies Basketball Club, who then we give 4 packages: agricultural skills, entrepreneurship, life skills, and then the sports. The sports pull them and keep them together. So then the different schools are including this into their school programs. Also because we are really turning these 6 schools into centers of excellence, from which other schools within the different regions are going to be able to go there and then also start learning. And then, like again, we always say agriculture is green gold. It cannot fail. So we always remember that the primary duty bearer is the government. All the work that the CSOs do is normally to support the government programs. Like right now, we have the National Development Plan, we have the National Agriculture Policy, the Vision 2040, even the Sustainable Development Goals. Because we are doing this inside it, we know that if they pick it up, then it will be sustainable. But we have the private sector who have picked interest, and we really think this is going to be sustainable. Okay,
thank you, Dr. Francis. And on that note, Jen, just unfortunately 1 minute, wrap up. How is the future of the Agricultural Skills Sector Council? Rather, how do we move on forward, of course, the future of this agricultural sector?
The Agriculture Sector Skills Council will continue with the tasks that were supposed to be implemented by the council, working together with the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Agriculture. We have a series of tasks, which including putting in place a labor market information service, supporting development in skills, demand-led skills development processes, but also doing advocacy for skills development across all sectors, and also putting in place a training levy. The private sector would like to contribute to skills development that will be worthwhile and useful to the labor that is demanded in the private sector. So they are willing to contribute, and we hope to continue working together with government to see this as a reality.
Thank you indeed. And Dr. Francis, Madam Miss Jane, and Mr. Williams, or Mr. TBS William Westiger, and the lovely young lady Belinda. Guys, this is a very enormous area of discussion, but unfortunately, because of the constraint of time, I just have to say, let it stop here. And really, a very appreciated, wonderful time we've spent together.
Thank you. The show starts at 9 at Lugogo, please.
The show starts at 9. Thank you indeed, and thanks.
Everybody see you at the MTN Arena.
Yes.
You will not regret coming.
Yeah, thank you. This is NTV, and grateful indeed that you've kept us your company. We are here to inform, to educate, and to ensure that we entertain you. And of course, next is The Beat. I'm Karaga Baldwins. Please come talk to us if you want a comprehensive discussion about anything regarding your company, your ministry, your department or agency out there, or your non-government organization. God bless and keep on NTV.